Now, the first way to handle multiple forms is a multiple document interface, or MDI. In order to use MDIs with your form, there's a property of the form that we need to adjust. Its name is MDI container. Now, FYI here with the properties, we can either sort them according to category as they are currently, or there's a second option to sort them alphabetically. I prefer the alphabetical one because I don't know how to find things in their categories. That's why I was paging around. So I prefer alphabetical, and then if we know the property name is MDI contained, and then we can have a look. There is MDI container. We have it there. What it means is that this form will contain other forms. We're going to use it as a place where new forms can be placed on the existing form. We make it true. Is MDI container true? Oh wait, there it's missing. Sorry, you choose true, and you can see the form changes slightly. We have the gray background is a bit indented. So in this area, we're going to create new forms and use those forms for further interaction with the program. Next thing that we can set, so let's just quickly run the program at this stage. Just want to see if it works. So here's our form. And when it starts executing, then we have this smaller window. Now, if we open another form, it's probably not going to fit onto this window. So something that really works is to make sure that our main form is maximized when you execute the program. For that, we look way at the bottom of the alphabetical list. There's a property that says Windows State. Currently, it's still normal. We choose once we have it normal, minimized, or maximized. We choose to maximize the form. And if we run the program now, we see that it automatically runs full screen. It's maximized. And then if we add new forms, then they shouldn't run over on the form that you're currently working with. So here's our menu, view data, and insert data. And currently they can't do everything because we haven't created events for them yet. So the idea is if we click on new data or view data, we open a new form in our existing form, and we're going to use that for interactions to read data from into the program. Right, so let's stop the program, and now we're going to add a second form to our project. So under our solutions, on the project name, which is workshop, there we right click, same as with adding the database, go to add and choose new item. Now, rather than looking under data where the database options are, we're going to our Visual C# items, and we click a form in Windows Forms. Here at the bottom, we can choose a name for the new form. I'm going to call this form View Data. Oh, sorry, form FRM View Data. This abbreviation is not really necessary. It's just it's for me a naming convention to know which type of components I'm working with, if we want to refer back to those components, especially when you work with code. So we have FRM View Data. Then we open a new form, and in our project we see there's form 1 that we worked with earlier, and there is form View Data. Just want to open form 1, that its name is different. So its name is form main, but the file where it is stored was initially form 1, and that file name will remain that way. But for now, let's just keep it form 1. I don't want to break something that's working currently. Right, so back to our new form new data, view data. Its heading is form view data. We can just change that to view data. this is what the user sees. The data doesn't need to see special jargon or shouldn't see that, because usually your user is not someone who knows how to program. And the same with the name. The name is already derived from the file name as form view data. So the two components that we use currently to show data is a data grid. Under our components, there's a data grid view. We add that one in our program. Sorry, it's added a second one. And we make it nice and big so that we can at least see the database information. We're going to extend the form a bit. And the next one that we also usually use is a list box to show multiple rows of information. Right. The difference between the two is a list box is eventually only an area where we can display lines of text. It's not necessarily that it has to come from a database, the information that we store there, but the data grid view is exclusively used with database queries. Right, so there are the two areas where we will display the information. I'm going to just give them proper names. My data grid view, I'm going to call DTG. Let's call it view data, DGD view data. And the list box, I'm going to call LSB for list box view data, or display data, or something like that, as long as you know what the name means in the context. And also very important, why you need to give these names. Remember, someone has to read this program and mark it. The more explicit and clear you can be when you give names, the better it is for the next person who reads your program. And it doesn't only apply for now when somebody marks your programs, it's also for later when you create programs that goes for reviews or for research. So if you see that a senior developer needs to read your code and he doesn't understand what's going on, then you're going to probably have to redo everything. So it's a good habit to apply. Then another component that we're going to add here, just as a starting point for our activities, will be a button. Button, you know very well by now. By now, it's nothing new or strange. I'm just going to make it a bit bigger, and I'm going to change its name to BTN View Data. All their names are view data because that's what we want to do. We want to view the data, and its text we're going to change to view all data in table. So the idea that we can derive from this text is, if we click on this button, it displays all the data in the data grid view. Good. So before we start coding on the button's code, let's first have a look at the MDI container and how we are going to display this form. So back to our main form. Under view and view data. There on view data, I'm going to double click, and it then creates a menu strip item. So in other words, if I click on that strip item, then it calls this event, and then we're going to write the code here for what happens when we click that button. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to have a new instance of this form, the new form, which is the name view data. So if we look at the view data code at the back, then we see the class that we use refers to this form is form view data. Oh, FYI, it's very small. I forgot I should enlarge it so that you can see better. I hope it's also visible on Zoom. Maybe I should switch off the lights just indoors. Oh, that doesn't want to work. They just switch on automatically. Can everybody see okay? I can't enlarge the rest really. I do hope, wait, let's see, maybe I have another option here. I can maybe just enhance the scale a bit. and hopefully the rest will go along. All right, so that is form view data. If we go back to our original form, sorry, not that. Then here under the original form, we can have an instance of this class. So we say the class form view data will create an object of. Now, I don't think you have worked with objects programming before. I think in the Java module you'll start working with that. So there will typically be a more focus on how classes and objects work together. For now, just know that this is a class that we're using in order to create an object of that class. And we give it a name to that object. Its name is myViewForm, and we instance it by saying it's a new form view data. All right, so what this new does is it calls the constructor of the class. The constructor is a method of a class that it makes the object an instance, and all the variables of this object is created by this, so that we have it in the memory of these instances of the object, so that we can have it in the database. So we created a new form. The form is available, but we can't see it yet. So next we have to say this view form, the MDI parent. We're going to refer to our main form. MDI parent says that this form will lie under this parent. It's created under this parent, and this is what the parent that we refer to is this. This refers to my form main. This, in other contexts, refers to a different class where this is used. So this can give you a problem a lot of the time. It's very important to be sure that this refers to what this refers to. But here, this refers to the class that we're working with. This connects to the second form, to our first form, and because our second form is an MDI container, we're going to put the new form in the old form. How do we show it or display it? We simply say my view form show. All right, so let's run it at this point and see what happens. Here is my main form. Sorry, Zoom opens each time I come close. Let's just make it smaller. We say view data, and here the new form is opened within the old form. So now on this form we can do things, we can click buttons and go crazy, and when we're done we can close the form, and we can just simply open the form if we want to need it again by saying view data. Currently, view all data in table doesn't do everything. We haven't programmed it yet, but we have sorted out the interaction between forms. Let's go back and look at the database component of view